In the year 2056, a man named Raymond Stevens built a machine that could traverse time and space. The first place he went was ancient Egypt. He murdered the current pharaoh and usurped him. He reigned in Egypt for 15 years as Ra the Great. Afterward, needing tech from the future, he returned to the year 2056 and seen it changed, and not for the better. His time shenanigans had created a horrible, oppressive alternate timeline. Feeling the desire to prevent this, he then returned to ancient Egypt, but to the moment before he killed the pharaoh. He confronted himself and the two Ra's brawled to what the original thought was the death. Ra 1 then returned to his future, having stopped himself from murdering the pharaoh and restored his original timeline. Ra 2 was stuck in ancient Egypt, powerless and with no time travel tech. So he lived in the nearby village for a time, learning wisdom and magics from the Egyptian priest. Using these new abilities, he concocted a makeshift time machine and traveled to the year 2798, which was a nuclear, fallout wasteland. There he ruled as king over the survivors and mutants that lived in that place. After a while, they became too unruly even for him, and all his ambitions, so he fled again into time, but was tossed off course and ended up on one of many islands in a small cluster. This place was outside of time and resembled a tropical paradise. He lived there for some time, teaching the natives magic, religion, and philosophy, all while having them help repair his time machine. Meanwhile, Ra 1 had been studying time and had used his tech and brilliance to set up a time monitoring base on Neptune. He had gained intel about Ra 2 and all his time travel mishaps. Unfortunately, Ra 2 had been causing rips in the barriers between alternate timelines and dimensions, allowing people from these places to cross over into Ra 1's universe and time stream. Ra 2 left the tropical time void and tried to go forward in time, but instead went in reverse, landing in the year 1929. Ra 1 then hired a crew of misfit space travelers, made up of people from local civilizations, and various interdimensional travelers, to go and find a piece of his time monitoring console which had been lost, but had actually been hidden by Ra 1 in order to be a test to find someone worthy enough to go and kill Ra 2. The crew charted most of the planets but found no time console piece. Months into the mission, one of the crew members got lost en route to the uncharted planet X. Once he was rescued, the crew stopped on Ceres to rest and refuel at the base they had set up there. One of the crew was a boy who wandered around and played as the rest of the crew did their individual jobs and duties. In a cave, the boy found the time console piece that belonged to the original Ra. Returning this piece, Ra 1 revealed the location of his time machine. The strongest member of the crew volunteered to go and attempt to assassinate Ra 2. He was successful in killing Ra 2 in 1929. Upon his supposed death, Ra 2 was transported back to the tropical void in time, where he remained for the rest of his life. Ra 1 then lived out the rest of his days on Neptune. And after stopping all interdimensional threats, he retired his time center, never meddling with time again.